Today we're going to talk about our #1 support call here at Best Aviation Products, and that is related to my tug doesn't drive, and almost every single time, maybe 99.9 times out of 100, it is battery related. As being an electric vehicle, this tug needs to have batteries that can maintain a charge and that are charged. So good tips to maintain the batteries on your tug. One, our tugs come with a really smart battery charger. Leave the tug plugged in all the time. AGM batteries like what are in these tugs have 12-volt lead acid AGM batteries. AGM batteries are recommended to be kept fully charged all the time. When an AGM battery or lead acid battery sits in a depleted state, it can sulfate on the battery plates, which causes internal battery shorting. Now, keeping your tug forever charging won't eliminate the potential for a battery failure, but it will diminish it and potentially slow that down. So typical battery replacement time is 2 to 4 years, can be less and can be longer depending on how you use your tug. If you remember to charge it frequently, if you remember to turn it off. Good practices are turn your tug off and use your tug all the time. Fly more. The more you fly, the more you're safe. So here we're going to look at a few common practices with the tug, a few symptoms of a dead battery per se. One, you turn your tug on and nothing happens. It's time to replace your batteries. Two, you turn your tug on, the lights turn on. When you go to drive it, it shuts off. It's time to replace your batteries. Three, you turn your tug on and it drives around by itself, but as soon as you hook it to an airplane, it shuts down. Time to replace your batteries. Or number four, when you move your plane and you're coming out and it drives for like 10, 15, 20 feet and then it stops, your battery is also dead, needs to be charged or replaced. So today we're going to go over on an Alpha 3 model. The Alpha 2 will be just the same as far as battery replacement. We're going to start by turning the tug off. This particular tug has 4 thumb screws, 2 in the front, 2 on the back. Previous models may have had 3 screws, and they may have Allen wrenches that are needed, an 1/8 inch or 3/16. On this one, I'm going to remove the thumb screws. Get these off. If your tug was equipped with a LED headlight option, as you lift the cover up, you'll see a wire that hangs down. That is not plugged in on mine. So make sure you unplug the headlight wire or else the cover won't come very far. It'll kind of get stuck about here. So take the cover off, set it down gently, and then you've got access to your tug batteries. This tug has 2 12-volt, 18 amp hour lead acid AGM batteries. They are very common size and can be purchased at most battery stores worldwide. Batteries Plus, Interstate Battery, Continental Battery, common stores to pick these up from. We recommend buying name brand batteries like Duracell, Panasonic, Interstate, Brightway Group, UPG, Continental, batteries that have massive companies behind them and build a good battery. There are hundreds of knockoff batteries for these tugs. You could buy batteries for this tug that cost about $15 that will turn on and not drive, and they definitely won't pull an airplane. So make sure to buy a good battery, spend a little bit more money. In this particular tug, spending $80 to $100 per battery is good. And currently, 2025 battery pricing, that is where you want to be. If you buy a cheaper battery, a $15, $20, $30 battery, it is likely your tug will turn on and drive under its own power but won't pull a plane. And that is a battery issue, not a tug issue. So buy a good battery. Here, we're going to check battery voltage first. I've got my voltmeter. I like using a voltmeter with alligator clamp leads so that I can test the tug by myself. It makes it easier to read. I'm going to turn the voltmeter on. I'm going to turn it to the 20 volt DC setting. And I'm going to clamp these little terminals on to the negative and positive and read the voltage. I'm currently reading 12.98 volts on this first battery. Then I'll move the leads over to the next battery. And I'm reading 12.97 volts. So they both seem good. If you want to do a battery capacity check yourself, say your tug drives but it might shut off after a few feet, it's time to replace your batteries, but you could do a little test yourself if you want. Set your voltmeter somewhere where it's easy to read, turn your tug on, and then drive it in the push direction away from you. So you can just let the tires spin, and then you can read the voltmeter while it drives. It is normal for the battery percentage on the screen or on the voltmeter to drop while you do this. Currently we're seeing it drop just under its own power down to 12.3 volts. It was at 12.9 something volts, 13 volts really. And this is normal. The Tug batteries are seeing a load, and this is a good healthy battery. If you see your battery start dropping under an independent load like this, under 10, 10.5 volts, maybe 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and the Tug's shutting off, to replace your batteries. The battery has an internal short, like we talked about earlier. Do that on both batteries, check them out. If you do need to replace your batteries or find that it is time, turn your Tug off, and then take a picture with your phone or camera of how the wires are routed to your batteries. That way you make sure every wire goes to the proper post and terminal so that your Tug works properly when you put the batteries back in. We recommend having the battery replacements here when you do it so that you can immediately put the Tug back together. You don't lose any nuts and washers, and it's fresh on your memory. So first things first, I'm gonna turn my voltmeter off, set it down. Gonna grab a wrench. You can use a wrench, you can use a socket, you can use, on this particular battery setup, you could use a Phillips screwdriver. I'm just going to take this wrench, loosen these batteries real quick. Take them out. Careful not to lose your washers. They're really small, so watch out for them. My battery wires come off, and then if you come look, you'll think that the battery's stuck or glued down. There's no straps holding it down. On these Alpha models, there is a 3M dual lock Velcro that is really, really strong. So what you do is you rock your battery forward or back and take it out. There is the Velcro on the bottom. We use that for shipping purposes. You don't necessarily need to put new Velcro on the bottom of your batteries. You could order new Velcro from us or go to a local hardware store, 3M dual lock Velcro, and then Velcro your battery back in. We do this so that when the Tug's in transit, the battery's not banging around and moving. This Velcro is really strong and helps keep the batteries in place. So now that we got the battery out, you can check the battery to make sure it's not bloated or bubbling. This particular battery is brand new, so it's going to be flat and rectangular and straight and look nice and pretty. If your battery does not look good, replace it. If it's swelling, replace it. Even if it passes the battery capacity check, replace your battery if it does not look new. So I'm going to put the battery back in. I know where my wires go. This particular Tug, the wires kind of stay where they need to be. Put the bigger post on the bottom and the smaller auxiliary wires on the top, and we will tighten this back up. The bigger wire post is what powers the drive motor, and so you want that one on the bottom so it gets the best contact to the battery so that more power can flow through it to drive your Tug and to pull your airplane in and out of the hangar. So snug these up with my fingers, put the wrench back on them, and then make sure it's nice and tight. On this Tug, you don't want to go too tight because the battery terminals are threaded. If you don't have a store near you that has threaded battery terminals, you can get another kind of battery that has a nut and bolt, and it will work just the same as long as it's still the 12 volt 18 amp hour version and that the battery terminals are positioned in the correct spot. But in that case, your wires would just turn sideways and have a bolt and a nut that hold them through instead of a bolt that threads into the battery. So thanks for joining me today on checking the batteries on your Best Tugs Alpha 2 or Alpha 3. If you have any other questions, battery related, Tug driving related, please give us a phone call, 801-855-7757, and we'd be happy to help you out. Thanks, fly safe.